I'm gonna try to keep this kind of concise. I know that won't happen though. Thankful for me, this sort of jazzy type, rap track that ended up becoming my most streamed song to date, as of right now, at least when I'm recording this. Honestly, I really didn't expect that to happen. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't really remember making the song, but anyways, just kind of wanted to break down the beat a little bit. So this was one of the very first songs I actually ever made. It was, rough when I kind of look back at it, but I guess it just has a sort of charm to it. I don't know. But when I made the song, I wanted it to be something very different from the rest of the album. I wanted it to be something that was just a little outside. A lot of the album kind of starts with like, pound cake because it's very trap-esque style, which was kind of the style I had at the time I wrote the song like 3 years ago. A lot of the music I was listening to was a lot of trap, southern rap and stuff like that. But the rest of the album, a lot of it kind of plays on different things. I mean, it kind of concludes with almost sort of like an indie sort of type, indie rap. And then a lot in the middle, there's a lot of sampling. Again, still a lot in the hip hop and trap sort of genre. So I wanted something that just really deviated kind of far from a lot of that. Of course, it was still going to be a rap song, but I wanted something, like I said, just different. So I don't remember really how this all came about. The song, I mean, as you can kind of see here, is fairly loop reliant. In terms of melodies, I never use like drum loops. I just feel like if I can make the drums, I might as well make the drums. But it's part of the reason why in the last few months I've stepped back from producing my own stuff is because I'm working on trying to learn more instruments and learn how to play instruments, moving away from loops. And there's nothing wrong with loops. I mean, if you lose them, you use them, right? But I guess for me, it's more about having more control over what I can do with stuff. So, but yeah, so this one, like I said, I did all the percussion and all that stuff, but the rest of it is, fairly loop heavy. So, I've gotten asked a handful of times if there's a sample in the song. There's no sample. This was all from like one pack. So it all kind of was this whole bit right here. When the rain is falling down. So I think at the time when I found this actually, and typically what happens when I actually did New Roses, it's a very similar pack. I think it was the same pack. I found this. I think it was the vocal sample that I found first, which is. I like when the rain is falling down. So I had heard that and I was like, oh, this is dope. But I knew I didn't want it playing through like the whole song because I was like, there's no space for my vocals here. Which at the time wasn't necessarily what I was thinking. I was just like, I just felt like it would clash and it would be too much to have me rapping with this. So I was like, let's just kind of have that be the lead, be the opener. And what I also liked is that you can kind of hear it. I thought it was my own vocals for a second, but you can kind of hear it. But there's like, you can hear the people that are playing these instruments. You know what I mean? Again, I wanted a really live sounding thing. When I made the song, it was like I almost wanted to picture just like again, like I guess slam poetry almost. Like I don't know, or just some sort of competition. Just really, or like a jazz club, a jazz bar, and it's like there's like a spotlight on the stage, and I'm like dressed up in a suit, and it's just me and like what I'm saying. I have these people behind me playing these instruments, and then it's like everyone's just. That's kind of the visual I had when I made this song. And the trumpet is actually what catches a lot of people, which I can understand. Honestly, it's it stands out. And I think the guitar often gets kind of lost in it. It's a really good guitar. Kind of moves into the percussion, which this shouldn't take too long. But I was at a point where I was like starting to use a lot of shakers. Even now, I still use a lot of shakers. I use a lot of live drum sounds now when I put songs together. I don't use a lot of like TR-808s and stuff like that. Like I don't really use a lot of that. But anyways, I wanted just something simple. I always kind of have like a hi-hat or a shaker or whatever to kind of just keep the tempo of the song. Sometimes it'll I'll kind of freak it and it'll do a little bit more, but I didn't really want anything crazy. I just wanted just a simple, something just to kind of go along with the rest of the song. I didn't want anything crazy with it. this is when I kind of started adding a couple of ear candy things. Like I just wanted stuff to start to fill out the song. Right, just little hits to kind of fill the song out. But this is, and I'll kind of start to go through the bongos all together. But I wanted different bongos because I just was like, it's hard when you're not playing certain instruments live, and this is why I also struggle with things like guitars and stuff like that if I'm not actually playing it, which is why I'm trying to learn these things. But like bongos are kind of hard to get because it's something you really have a groove to when you're playing, you know, whatever, right? So this was kind of hard for me to kind of put together, but I knew, you know, they have different hits. So, you know, kind of as a regular hit, you know, and then kind of as a low, you know what I'm saying, hitting like the center of the bongos and stuff. So this part was a little tough for me to get down. And I felt like the beat was very empty at first, honestly. I'll start kind of with this. This is like the first bongo I had. So it was just that, and then started to kind of put it together with this one right here. You know, and then from there, really was just filling it out with this last one right here. So that last one kind of just, again, kind of more on the high end right there, right? Really hitting kind of the edge of the bongo. Again, just wanted to kind of differentiate the sounds. I think I actually have them panned differently, but I can't remember. It's all literally in front of my face down here. So I had everything panned because, again, I wanted it to really sound like you're inside of like a jazz bar or a jazz club. So even if only a little bit, pretty much everything is panned. So I kind of had everything panned a little bit different. You can see the bass is kind of on the right with the guitar, but then I kind of have the trumpet, kind of the instrument sitting a little bit more in that middle end, that high, you know, middle to higher end, sitting kind of more on the left. So I know, again, it's not, I didn't look up, you know, how different people are set up because everyone's gonna have a different setup, you know, in a live performance. I was just thinking very loosely how I wanted things to sound. I didn't want everything blitzing down the middle of my ears. So anyways, again, the question is really simple overall. It just kind of has this like hat roll in the middle that I wanted to do just to kind of roll the sound off and then let it breathe for a second and then get back to the percussion. So but anyways, I rounded out the percussion with this clap. Just again, kind of another rhythm keeper, another tempo keeper, because I don't know, I felt like if, again, filled the beat out a little bit more, it just felt a little too empty without it. So I can put all the percussion together and it sounds like this. So that's the percussion put together. Again, by itself, it probably sounds kind of weird, but for quite some time I was like, again, I felt like the beat was empty. And I was like, it feels weird. Like, I feel like I should add either like another instrument or something like that. And then I was like, I feel like that would be too cluttered. Which again, now knowing what I know, just having the space really worked well. And I think it works well for maybe why the song performed well. It just sounds like I'm able to breathe. There's gaps, you know, allowing my voice to really kind of punch through. So that was pretty much, you know, the making of the song. Again, I thought I was going to add more. Never ended up doing it. So again, I really didn't expect very much from the song, but I'm super thankful for, no pun intended, but for everyone who's listened to the song. It really was like a breath of fresh air for me once it picked up and really helped me keep going, honestly. So that's the song. I'll kind of just play it all together. But yeah, as you can hear in the song, all right. That's that. So like I said, appreciate y'all so much, and I'm gonna try to do a little mini series kind of going back over some of the songs I worked on. Like I said, I haven't really produced any of the stuff I released this year, but you know, just want to kind of switch up things a little bit. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it.